So here we are back with the fourth episode. As we all know, this is a game that comes in installments. So far, 4 have been released. This is the fourth one that we're going to go and embark on now, and we will see what happens. Yes, we do want to see a recap before starting episode 4, but only episode 3. Dustin and Dustin's mum. So now we know that Janie is the we haven't found out who that squatter is, and I do hope that at some point we'll be able to go into the greenhouse. Janie used to be Tabitha's babysitter, and she's married to the parish pastor. The problem is that the parish doesn't really go to church at all, so he's kind of, I don't know, annoyed by this. Well, not really annoyed, but it just means he doesn't have much to do. And but you know, she says that if I want to talk about the things that had previously happened, i.e. the collapse of the mine and the girls getting lost and stuff, then I'm happy to talk to him. And I may actually do that. And she also raises alpacas. So Tabitha and I go to Sybil's tea shop, where I meet Beau, who's the son of Duke, who got shot in the incident, but at least his mum is still around, because I thought that maybe Beau is now on his own, but his mum is still alive. That's at least small consolation. Then I dumped Tabitha because Tabitha has been behaving like crazy. She wanted me to hang out with her, or well, basically not hang out, because that would be a nice thing, but she just wanted me to tag along all day so that she could keep an eye on me. And I just decided to have breakfast with Stella instead. So we made biscuits, and this is the Mayor Jimmy. He's a dog, and he's only interested in tourism. And Gretchen does not like him at all. That's the pastor. And again, people giving me condolences about the fact that my aunt died, who seems to have been quite an asshole. This is Reese, who's got some weird illness, which is he thinks maybe kill him very, very soon. He's an artist. The art is kind of, yes, well, you know. But I actually believe that his mum is keeping him sick, so that his mum is also the town doctor, so that she can actually keep him with her at all times, because I don't think she wants to let go. And while we're there, I get attracted to a door in her house, which has the same attraction for me as the the mural that we saw, or the engraving that we saw in the mine before. And dinner ends really quickly because Reese actually has a problem with the food, and then gets up, and we basically get thrown out. Then we go, I don't know why he stopped dressing. I mean, this is like, he's walking around in his underwear. Absolutely terrible. But anyway, so we basically go and ghost bust his house, where we have an epiphany. All of us are possessed by ghosts that are in the basement somehow. And what we find is that our ancestor, Edwardina, killed Charlie Shaw Jr. The Shaw mine is the mine where the girls went missing, the mine that collapsed while we were inside. The two of them were sweethearts, Charlie and Edwardina, but then at some point, somehow, Edwardina decided to kill him for some reason. We're going through a whole long dream cycle. And of course, who else is there? Wayne. We still don't know who Wayne is. Sybil knows him, but she doesn't want to tell us who he is. And then there's kind of like, and this is actually Charles with his caved-in skull, because Edwina actually pushed him through the trapdoor in the basement, or into the basement, and cracked his skull. And basically, I take the role of Charlie in this whole situation, and then basically I have to fend for him. And basically say, well, you know, you need to let go. There is nothing you can do. And I come to in a basement. Sybil is there, but now I'm underneath the tea shop. And then we all go home. Sybil takes me home to the estate, where I don't even know if I run into Tabitha that night, but basically we all go to sleep in or under my family's musty covers. And so now, back with a cup of coffee, or actually a jug of coffee, we can get started. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. has been put to rest, but disaster still looms over the town of Scarlet Hollow. So it's actually quite interesting, because it seems that he was not the disaster that we are awaiting, but that maybe the fact that there is a disaster coming has made his spirit manifest. So yes, the house of Oscar and Rosalina was actually genuinely haunted. That's also quite important to note. So we will wake up and see what happens. Maybe we won't wake up. Still, tonight was a good night, and you fall asleep with a gentle, well-earned smile on your face. I don't know if you could call it a good night, but as my nights have been going, yep. Wake up! You open your eyes. It's a new day. Last night seems so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine. But your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hope you made it home okay? Haven't heard from Stella since last night. How about you? You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. Text Stella. How's my favorite cryptid hunter? You wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. Does Stella disappear like this sometimes? Kinda. But with everything going on, I don't feel comfortable letting her run off on her own. We should look for her, right? Come to town, we should stick together. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. We need to visit Dustin. You open the drawers, they both have a bread now. Okay. Human is back. Maybe he changed mind about eating us. Could be the end of Dustin and Dustin Mum. What? I would never eat you. I love you. Dustin Mum know better than to trust. When push come to shove, survival more important than friendship. Okay. Dustin Mum spend too much time outside, a different inside. There enough bread for everyone here. No need eat friends. Dustin still have childhood innocence. Hope Dustin get to keep that innocence forever. Tried to reclaim Glasshouse last night, but asshole squatter too big and strong. Dustin Mom stand no chance. Might have to live in Dustin House forever. Human big and strong too, probably more big and strong than asshole squatter. You fight? Give Dustin Mom Glasshouse back? Can you tell me about the squatter? I want to know what I'm up against. Squatter have big, sharp things on head. Nasty attitude, fast like bug, but big like monster. Dustin shivers at Dustin Mom's description. Mom, brave! Human, be careful. But Dustin Mom would be eternally grateful to human. Dustin, too! I should get going. Okay. Take a shower. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you... think about Stella running off last night. Hopefully she's just sleeping in. You're done here. Check the closet. It's moved. The doll has moved. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. It's time to face your cousin. Oh, great. Tabitha, darling! You find her in the kitchen, her shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. This place looks like chaos. They're striking. This week of all weeks. As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. If history is anything to go off of here, it almost doesn't matter how strong the strike seems. This is Tabitha's battle to lose. There isn't a union in Scarlet Hollow, which means a proper strike isn't even legal. Your cousin can do pretty much whatever she wants. She could fire everyone and wait them out, for instance, or pick and choose her targets. Any news about the trapped kids? We have confirmation of at least one voice down there, and the boys have been digging around the clock. I don't think it'll be long before we can put all this unpleasantness behind us. Have you had anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. She tends to just disappear every now and then. She's tough. She'll be able to take care of herself. You probably should get going, right? Yeah. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. But let me know if you get in trouble, okay? Certainly not. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Talk to Frou Frou. You walk over to the cat. Oh, c'est toi. Qu'est-ce que tu veux maintenant? Do you know anything about the stone carvings scattered around town? I'm not here to be your, comment dit-on, chien détective. Je suis une chatte. Ist es nicht un chat? I'm here to watch you flail about in the darkness. I am not here to provide answers to whatever mysteries confound your feeble American mind. I missed you last night, Frou Frou. That makes one of us. Nod respectfully to Frou Frou. She scoffs, her tail twitching with annoyance, but you can sense she's less annoyed than she usually is. Maybe she's getting used to you. Bye, Frou Frou. Good talk. She scoffs as you turn away. Investigate the garden. Whatever kicked out Dustin's mom is in the garden right now. You'd better look into it before you head into town. The air is chilly today, the overcast sky hanging oppressively over the weed-choked flower beds. Investigate the greenhouse. You start carefully picking your way through the underbrush. It doesn't take much effort to find a path. Cuttings of prickly raspberry bushes and tangled vines litter the ground around the greenhouse. The glass house, one could say. You step towards the door. It's sealed shut by a lock, and you catch a brief glimpse of a horned shadow through the ancient clouded glass. Try to talk to whatever's behind the door. Oh, it's a goat. What's your name, little guy? Goat. What are you doing in the greenhouse? Human put me here. Can't complain. Pretty sweet digs, honestly. Stays nice and warm, and there's plenty of eats too. Did that human have a brown coat and big boots? Coat like what? Fur? Nah, not brown fur. Yellow fur, just on the top, like all you humans. Don't know what boots are. Can't help you there. Yellow fur. Blonde hair. Bo has blonde hair, so does Tabitha. Where did you come from? Farm. Used to live with other guys like me. Kinda miss 'em, but not that much. Don't gotta share anymore. Guess I'll leave you to it then. See ya, or not. It's a wild world out there. Okay, so there's a goat. If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get the chance to eat. You make yourself a PB&J and anticipate in anticipation for the long day ahead of you. And that's that. Head to town. You head to the front door again and begin your trek to the town below. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery grey light. You can't help but feel countless eyes watching you from the tree line, a feeling that reminds you of your time in the woods with Stella. Ditchlings shouldn't be out in the middle of the day, though. They're getting bolder. As you continue the trek to town, you pause to stare out at the mountain range beyond the hollow, contemplating a world that's blissfully unaware of the danger threatening the citizens of this tiny town. I mean, can we just take a moment again to appreciate the beauty that is this visual novel? I mean, it all looks awesome. The world outside feels less real with each passing day as the strange reality of what's happening in Scarlet Hollow gently uproots what you'd always taken to be the truths of your world. Your everyday worries seem distant, overshadowed by a fear and dread that hasn't stopped building up since the moment you stepped off that bus. It isn't long until your journey from the estate is over, and you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Callisto, you made it down the hill in one piece, thank God. I didn't realize there were so many of those ditchlings things around, or I would have driven up to get you. I can't believe they're outside during the day. It feels wrong. How are you doing? I'm mostly just worried about Stella right now. I'll feel much better when we find her. Me too. I know the two of you have been getting pretty close. We'll find her, Callisto. So, how are you mentally? That's a great question. My concept of how the world works is being shattered a little more each day. So that's cool. Every day I feel more and more like I need to get out of this town before it all swallows me whole. But I also keep feeling like there are too many reasons to stay. Like, right now, I can't leave until I know Stella's okay. With her folks gone, the only people she has are her friends. And as her bestie, I can't just let her go running off into the woods to get eaten by a Bigfoot. And my mum is just so chill right now, it's driving me nuts. She just keeps giving me tea and ignoring anything I tell her about the weird stuff that's been going on around town. I figured if anyone would be interested in magic stuff, it'd be her, but she ends the conversation every time I start talking about it. Sorry, I'm ranting. But thanks so much for asking. That was really thoughtful of you, and it helped to talk about it. If you ever need someone to rant at, too, I'd be happy to return the favor. Your mum was the one who told us about the ditchlings. If she's being tight-lipped, it's probably for a good reason. I guess you're right. We wouldn't be investigating anything if she didn't tell us what to look for, even if it sounded like a bunch of New Age nonsense at the time. Still, I don't know. It's hard to express, but something just feels wrong. There is this nagging feeling that I need to be careful around her. I just don't know why. I guess we should get started. Yeah, we're burning daylight. Where to first? Okay, let's go to Stella's house. I mean, that's reasonable. Definitely, I probably should have done that before getting you to come all the way down here, but to be honest, I was scared of wandering off by myself, just in case I ran into any other horrors from beyond the veil. It would be great if this turns out to be nothing and she's just asleep in bed. But yeah, you and me both, sister. You make your way towards Stella's house. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. Oh my god. But can we just appreciate the detail? There's a bird feeder up here. There's a house in the distance. The drawings are just amazing. For the life of you, you can't remember if Stella closed the door behind her when the two of you left for the library yesterday morning. That's right, we had breakfast together, didn't we? We had breakfast together yesterday morning and left together, but I can't remember if she closed the door. She must have, right? It's okay, don't worry about trying to remember. Hopefully we'll be able to clear up who left the door open when we walk in and see Stella, alive and well and just not answering her phone for some reason. We should go in, right? Yeah, we should go in. The living room's almost exactly as you saw it the other day. Oh, and Gretchen's not there. I mean, again, look at the details. There's like a picture of her and Gretchen. There's her and her parents. Drawings she probably made as a kid. Toys for the dog. I just love... And of course she doesn't use these. Those are probably her parents' shoes. That's why there are cobwebs. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Okay, nothing unusual so far. Well, I mean, nothing unusual beside the point that she's not there and the dog's not there. This is a perfectly normal living room. No blood or viscera. Well, let's just, take a step back. Not everything has to be blood and gore. Not even a tipped over lamp. That's good. Investigate Stella's room. I don't think I've ever been there. Oh my god. Oh my god. She's got a Cthulhu like me. And look at... Okay, there's somebody who's been doing some... Oh yes, of course she looks for cryptids. So basically these are probably cryptid sightings. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not there. Though it's a little untidy. It's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. This sure looks like a room. Any thoughts? Yeah, nothing much to comment on. This is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. Oh, she still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. Investigate the kitchen. Oh, that is true. It is messier. Stella's kitchen is messier than... It looks like my kitchen. Then she left it yesterday. A couple of cabinets are hanging open and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. Yeah, that is totally my kitchen. Someone was here after Stella and I left yesterday. We didn't leave the kitchen like this. Maybe she came home last night, had a snack and didn't feel like putting things away. Still, that leaves us with the question... Where did she go? Well, or what happened after that? If she came home last night, why isn't she here now? And why haven't we been able to reach her? What I would do now, and this is unfortunately not an option, is I would ring her phone to see is the phone here. Because that's always an option. Okay. I don't think we're going to find much else here. Let's move on. So, she probably came home last night, but she left the door open and didn't tell anyone where she was going. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I thought she would have just been sleeping in or something. I can't believe she's actually missing. Where to next? Let's check out the diner. Good idea, folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. The diner is busier than you've ever seen it. The small booths packed with miners. Oh yes, of course, they're striking. Hey, hope you weren't planning on spending any quality time in the diner today. Looks like we'll be hosting a meeting for the foreseeable future. What's going on? There's a strike up at the mines. They've made the diner their base of operations. Ha! Huh, good for them! It's about time something like this happened. This is great for business. These fellas can have as much free coffee as they can drink if they keep piling in like this. The miners didn't even notice you entered the diner and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for everyone else to overhear. I guess the shift schedules are pretty brutal and I'd like more vacation days. I'd love to be able to see my family around the holidays and better health benefits would be amazing. But what if she decides to fire all of us? You're only a year or so into the work and trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. At first, you're just unhappy, but you figure you can weather it till you find something better. A paycheck's a paycheck. Next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. Have I mentioned that I really like my cousin and her work ethic? But we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. I can't get fired. And the company housing, that makes a big difference for me. Right, the company housing. How generous of Tabitha to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had maintenance done in decades, taking a big chunk right out of your paycheck that sure as shit ain't going towards property tax and upkeep alone. The company housing that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live in. We have numbers on our side, Harrison. After what happened up there the other night, damn near everyone is joining the picket line. She can't afford to lose us all. We have the power here, so long as we're united. Hey, Avery, do you have a minute to catch up? The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. You angling at something? Come on now, Zach. This is a free establishment. Let's step outside. I could use some fresh air. Avery pauses for a second. I've been seeing these little blob guys everywhere. You'll know about them, right? Should I be concerned? Yeah, they're called ditchlings. My mum says they're an omen of for a coming disaster, which I don't exactly buy, but they've been killing local animals. Did you say you don't exactly buy it? Is the town Scully saying she believes in something supernatural? Look, we've seen some things in the past couple of days. Okay, now I'm really worried. We should be more worried about why they're here than anything else. Do we know what that is yet? Not yet, though I'm still hoping they're just weird animals and not some kind of harbingers of doom. Because if my mum's right, and that's what they are, whatever is coming has to be worse than what we've already been through. I'll keep my eyes peeled and ears open. In the meantime, should I be careful not to wind up in any dark alleys with those weird little guys? Are they going to try to eat me or something? No. Worse. They might try to use you as some kind of incubator. So far they've only been laying eggs in local wildlife, but now that there are so many more of them, I'm not sure the humans in Scarlet Hollow are going to be safe for much longer. Oh, is that all they do? That doesn't sound so bad. Are you serious? I was just going to ask the same thing. Being used as a walking nursery sounds so much worse than just being eaten. Look, if they need a warm place to pupate and I have skin to spare, who am I to deny them? Ugh, that's so gross. The thought of feeling something like wriggling under your skin, stealing your nutrients until it eventually erupts out of you. Kanika shudders. You all have seen Alien, right? Sounds like the miracle of life to me. You're yanking us around, right? Maybe. Anyways, I shouldn't get too off topic. You wanted to chat? Do you have any idea where Stella might have went? She ran off last night and we haven't seen her. But nothing ever seems to bother Stella. What happened last night? Well, ghosts are real as it turns out. Last night proved that pretty irrefutably. We all went to Ghostbust Oscar's house and wound up getting sucked into a hellish ghost dimension. Most of us were used as meat puppets for some bizarre play. Everyone except Callisto. But it's gone now, so you don't have to worry about that happening to you. Are you kidding? That sounds amazing. I'm sure it was pretty traumatizing in the moment, but come on. You've got to admit being puppeted by a ghost is probably a pretty unique experience. You say that, but you're not the one who feels like a walking bruise today. Trust me, it was bad. I still feel cold inside. I can't believe it was so bad that even the Scully of the groups turned true believers. Stuff is getting weird in Scarlet Hollow. Yeah, it sure is. Anyways, I wish I could be more help, but I'll make sure to keep my eyes peeled for Stella. I'll make sure everybody who comes into the diner knows to look out for her. We should probably get back to it. Totally. I'm sure you're both antsy to get back to looking for Stella. I won't keep you. Avery heads back inside and you and Kanika return to Main Street to plan your next move. Still no sign of Stella. We should check out the church, just in case, because we haven't been there. The church? What, do you think Stella decided to get religious all of a sudden? I just want to be thorough. Fair enough. We shouldn't rule it out just because I don't want to have to see the pastor. Let's make it quick, though. I don't want him trying to rope us into some church event. Oh, and again, this is Janie here, and she's feeding her alpacas. I just love... Oh, and that's Wayne. There's Wayne in here, back there. I mean... Let's just for a moment pause the game and think about two things. Number one, this is an indie game. Number two, it's made by a husband and wife group over the span of several years, and they're doing this in their spare time. I have to say, this is absolutely amazing. Amazing. Kanika leads the way, taking you up to the gradual slope towards the church. So there's Wayne here. So, just got sidetracked there. Okay, so we're at the church. Alright, where is that weirdo? My, 3 visitors at once on a Thursday. This is unprecedented. Who's the third one? But there are only 2 of us. Oh no, we were followed by a ditchling? We were followed by Wayne? Sup, old people? Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Okay. Yeah. Give it time, Zane. It sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart, but when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hoped maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's just over there by the alpacas. Though, Callisto, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. What do you have to say to her that you can't say in front of me? Please, if you wouldn't mind, this is a personal matter. Personal for whom? I'd rather folks not pry on this, you know, how rumors get started. It's okay, I'm happy to talk to him. If you're sure, I guess I'll leave you to it while we check in with Janie. I'll be right over there by the fence that's conveniently in your line of sight, okay? Kanika heads off towards Janie, and the alpacas leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I had a chat with the mayor yesterday. I heard you did too. I'm so glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought it. I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point that it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. Have you met Frou Frou, Gretchen, Pixel? Of course I have, but I learned early on in life not to let on that I have this gift, at least while other humans are around, so I haven't spoken with any of them. Though I get the feeling Frou Frou wouldn't talk to me even if she knew I could understand her. I've tried to befriend the alpaca when no one else is around, emphasis on tried. They're surprisingly cliquey. Besides that, I try to maintain a low profile, only chatting with the wildlife when I'm sure no one's looking. I can't express how much of a relief it is to finally meet someone else like me. Likewise, though it may be more than just the two of us now. I have my suspicions that Tulip might have inherited the gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she's said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. Oh, he's got a child. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Tulip! Come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good, or are we going to skip story time tonight? I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry, I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and looks like it's part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mountain of rusty cans and broken glass. Oh, yes! The girls were talking about this on our first day, I think. I remember that. Oh, Tetanus Lake. Stella told me about it. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would make it only sound more alluring. What were you saying about the church rats? Ah yes, the rats. So you and I are used to the sort of chatter we hear from wildlife. It's usually nothing that needs to be paid attention to. But these rats, there's something so sinister about them. And they must be huge, judging by the sound of them scurrying around in there. Tulip had never shown evidence of the ability before. She's never responded to the alpacas or engaged in conversations with birds. In retrospect, she could have been hiding it, the way I did, growing up. Because I know she's been talking to the rats, she calls them her friends, has been drawing all these pictures of them, really ghastly things. I've tried to bring it up with her, but she just gets this little smile and doesn't say a word, like it's her fun little secret. It's all innocent enough in the grand scheme of things, but I'm pretty sure they also live out in the trash heap, and ever since she started talking about her friends, she's been trying to sneak out there. Okay. I'm concerned she's going to get hurt or catch some kind of disease. What have they been saying? They like to try to goad me into crying or becoming depressed. They watch me through unseen holes and make fun of me, then try to figure out how to press my buttons. Oh God. It's annoying, but easy enough to block out, especially when I'm praying. I don't think they're a good influence on Tulip, though. She's gotten quiet and secretive ever since she started talking to them. I'd hate to think what they say to her when I'm not around to hear. Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe I could try talking to them. That would be lovely. I'd certainly appreciate a helping hand here. I don't want to be too much of a bother, and you should probably finish looking for your missing friend first, but I'll be around. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika walking back to the two of you. She must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we'd better get going. Hope your talk with the pastor went well? Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. I'll let you all be on your way now. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I put in some good prayers with the big man for her. All right, thanks. See ya. Kanika starts back down the path to town, and you follow. Okay, now that we've put some distance between us and the church, what did he want to talk to you about? He didn't say anything weird, did he? Tulip's apparently made some weird imaginary friends. We might want to check it out later this week. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time. Pastor Daniel says there's a rat infestation in the church and that the rats are her friends. I don't know. It seemed weird. Okay, as much as I'd hate going back there, I guess that's a loose lead. If we don't have anything else to investigate once we found Stella and... Kanika pauses. Once we've checked out the clinic, then maybe we can look around the church. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? We should go to the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find out your cousin. I can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. Last night? If she wanted to find my cousin last night, she would have gone back to the estate, but hey. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourselves outside the Scarlet Mines. Better hours now, or none at all. I am unhappy with the treatment I am receiving as a worker in the Scarlet Mine. Scarlet, more like toilet. Two cops. A wall of bodies, picket signs, and megaphones in hand forms a human barricade around the entrance to the Scarlet Mines. I hope it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. If any of you seen Stella, she's missing. The YouTuber? She's the one on all of the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her, and we've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by. Oh no, this isn't looking good. We'll make sure to keep an eye out. Can't say we'll be much help though, we'll just be standing around here for the foreseeable future. I need to talk to Tabitha. So you're saying you want to cross a picket line? You pull out your phone and dial your cousin. Hello? What is it? You're not about to get eaten by the Babadook or something weird like that, right? Stella is still missing. We've been looking all over town for her and don't have any leads. I'm sure she'll turn up, but I'll see if I can get a hold of her. Don't think looking for my missing acquaintances gives you a pass to do anything dangerous. You're forbidden from doing risky things, even for what you might think is a good reason. I'm hanging up now. Bye. She hangs up. Why do I even bother? I mean, seriously. That doesn't sound like she knows where Stella is. Come on, let's go. We can figure out our next move when we get back to town. I guess that's it for the mines. I'll drive us back to town and we can figure out our next move from there. Where to next? I'm supposed to get tea with your mum today. Maybe she'll have some ideas. My mum wanted to talk to you. She's probably going to give you some rocks or bundles of herbs for protection or something. We can humor her. Well, everyone who doesn't like a good rock? The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as the two of you enter. Oh yeah, look, she's selling authentic rocks. Pulled from the Scarlet Mine. Kanika, there you are. You were supposed to stay in bed today, remember? And hello, Callisto. Hope you're sufficiently recovered from last night's fiasco. Actually, darling, I wouldn't call this a fiasco at all. Sorry, Mum. It's just that Stella's missing, and Stella can take care of herself. Unlike you. You need bed rest and lots of fluids. You don't need to go running around town spreading that cold of yours. Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Callisto about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to her. I'll just be doing a tea reading. Haven't those always bored you to tears? Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should really lie down. Bye, Callisto. Kanika turns and heads towards the stairs without saying another word. Shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. Follow Sybil to the tea room. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright glow lights over the plant in the corner. By the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. It's castor bean, an incredibly toxic plant and strange for a tea maker to keep around in her workspace. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. This is a special blend. It should help clarify some of the visions you've been getting. Okay, lady, are you trying to give me some psychoactive drugs? I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? Some of the plants here are toxic. Castor bean and the oleander in the corner behind me. They can produce ricin and rat poison, respectively. It just seems like a strange plant for a person who makes presumably edible teas to have them lying around in the open. Aren't you sharp? I'm an appreciator of plants regardless of whether they can be used in tea. She's got green eyes. Oleander's blooms are beautiful, and castor bean has such massive leaves. You have to admit it makes for an impressive plant. And they're both perfectly harmless so long as no one goes munching them. I'll keep these separate from the garden out back for just that reason, so no one confuses them for something edible. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mum's youth? I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearl Ann was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, She was not a very kind woman. Edwardine was the girl that killed her lover, Charlie. Yeah, very kind. Edwardine is a murderer. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Pearlan and my mum raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. Oh, they were twin sisters. She didn't survive the labor. What happened when my mum found out that she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. Okay, who's my father? Do we know? It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Okay, the question is, who is my father? Do we know? Do I know? Because I don't think he's been mentioned at all. Okay, Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Hardly. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious, as far as I know. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that had made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, to be quite honest, and I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart or something just as forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it. What with skipping town and all. Okay, what do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. What's with all that mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generation of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not to one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. Sip your tea. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. Finish the tea. You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it. The small cup empties, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. It's not just thoughtful. I think she looks kind of worried. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. Great. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass still ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure, but we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. Okay, so what's the point in knowing what it is if we can't stop it? Just saying. And there's a central figure here. A cat. An enemy lurking in plain sight. Frou frou! How do I know you're not the cat? I suppose you don't, though I'd think the cat wouldn't exactly warn you about itself. Still, you can't rule anyone out, even the old woman with a tea obsession. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connecting to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever it might be and has planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stone carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out, piece together what you can from your visions, and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Like hell, yes. Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to target you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. I think I felt another in the clinic. That's good. If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that could give you a leg up on your adversary. You'll just have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around the clinic. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. Leave the tea room. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. It's probably Stella. Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Talk to Miles. You see any weird rocks around town? Yep. You. He smirks. Clearly this is a very sick burn and you should feel bested by his wit. So, Kanika has a cold, huh? That's what she says. She's just trying to get out of work again. Like I didn't have anything better to do all week while she sits in her room watching an anime. Says the guy in the Goku pants. Everybody knows Dragon Ball is good anime. She watches the trashy shit. Check in on Kanika. You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. I really like the stuff on her door. The bad knock. You knock at Kanika's door. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just going to lie down for a while. I could use a breather. Let's hang out for a minute. Oh, hey, sure, let's hang out. Just give me 2 seconds. It's a disaster in here. You hear frantic crumpling and clinking and shuffling as she tidies her room. Okay, come on in. Oh, look, she's got a little little habitat here. She may have a spider. I like her room. Look, the alcove there with the window and the bed in there, that's a really cool room. Kanika's room is the sort of place that's stuck between the past and present. Faded stickers from her childhood line her bookshelf and box. I actually have a bookshelf at my mum's that still has stickers. And boxes of packed belongings sit in the corners of the room. I don't usually have people over. Don't judge me too harshly for the state of the place. I'm actually not going to romance her. She's not my... she's not the right person for me. Packing for something? You motioned to the stack of cardboard boxes. That's all my stuff from college. I've never really unpacked. It seemed like a waste to unload everything. It's not like I'll be staying here long term, so I just have to pack it up again eventually. Oh yeah, the boxes back there. I guess I did move back in over a year ago, so these boxes have just been sitting here unopened for a long while. But any day now, I'll load them back into the van and get out of town. Any day now. I'm going to investigate the clinic. You should come with me. I was hoping to be able to check in with Reese sometime. I want to ask if he knows anything about Stella and, you know, make sure he's okay after what happened at dinner. Yeah, screw this. Why did I even listen to my mum in the first place? I don't need to sit around in my room just because she said so. The two of you make your way back out into the hallway. Just before you make it to the stairs, a light turns on, startling both of you. I thought you were going to get some rest, Kanika. You should really get back to bed, or this cold of yours will only get worse. But I still have a lot of energy. I don't feel like sitting around. I don't think I need to. Of course you do. I know you best. And you just haven't been yourself these past few days. All this running around has been a detriment to your health. Miles and I want to see you healthy. You hold this family together. You shouldn't get between a mother and her daughter. Sybil knows what's best here, and Kanika is more than capable of speaking for herself. That accelerated heartbeat? She's running on adrenaline right now. It's going to wear out sooner rather than later, and she won't be able to help you if something happens tonight. You're putting her in danger. Remain silent. Kanika sighs. I'm sorry, Mum. I know I've been neglecting the general store, and I let Miles run off the other day. That was so irresponsible of me. Well, you know what, sister? Regardless of whether your mother is right with regard to your cold, to say you are the person holding the family together, she's the adult in the room. She's your mother. It's her job. Don't really, seriously, do not take this on. That's all right, Kanika. He could have gotten hurt, but he didn't, and it seems like you learned a valuable lesson from the experience. Well, maybe, Mom, you should be taking action sometime with your son. Now, let's just get you back to bed. You just need another day to recover, then you can get back to all this town mystery business. Callisto, you'll be fine without her until tomorrow. My mum's right, Callisto. You go on without me. See you later, okay? Before you can utter another word, Kanika returns to her room. Sybil's eyes carefully watch you as you leave and make your way back to Main Street alone. You make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. You know what would be cool now that we have different things we could do to get a map of the different locations? Like, we could go to the church to check out those rats, we could go to the clinic, we could go back to the estate, we could go to the mines, just, you know, to make a couple of kind of choices now. So let's take a look at the picture. Way back here is Wayne. There's a ditchling here. There's another ditchling up there. There's a raccoon, and there's a ditchling down here. What else can we see? I wonder if Wayne has been in every single picture and we just haven't seen him yet. So I'm gonna stop the recording here before we go in.